Hi guys. As promised, I'm coming to you guys live to have a little bit of a one-on-one and a personal chat with everybody, kind of about what's going on with me and where things have kind of led to over the last little bit. Haven't really been active on my lives, and I apologize for that. Life gets busy, things get happening, and whatnot. I will wait for people to kind of join us here, seeing that it is that I've come live, and once the audience builds, I'll kind of get into my whole spiel and what I'm going to talk about with you guys tonight. And hopefully what I have to share resonates with others. I know that if somebody had to share what I was saying, that it would probably hit a spot with me. So even if one person gets something out of this, is awesome. I'm seeing you guys are starting to pop on now, and it's really nice to kind of be back here and live and with you guys. So tonight, for those of you who are just jumping on, and I'll kind of just let a bit of the audience build here, I want to just talk about me. I want to talk about this new path that I'm kind of going down, how I kind of got here, what it kind of looks like, what my plans are for the next little bit and whatnot. And I want to share it with you. I know a bunch of you have kind of reached out to me lately, and you have your own shit going on, and we've kind of had a pep talk, and I think those people that I've spoken to have also felt better. So I'm gonna kind of just get started, and for those who jump on, whenever you jump on, cool. The replay will be up, so you can go back. I'll leave time at the end, always as I do, for some questions and some, even if it's not related to this topic specifically, maybe I'll give something away, you never know. But basically, I've struggled with my weight, and I've struggled in my life, and we all kind of have our shit, and we all kind of go through things, and we all kind of hold on to things. And I made that post yesterday that you can eat the kale and you can drink the alkaline water and you can do yoga, but if your heart and your head is holding on to the shit, you'll never be healthy. And it's true, because so many things stem from our emotions. Everything from sickness and illness can definitely be a root cause, and if we can't fix that, we can't fix ourselves. And a lot of the time what I find is as I've gone through my life, and I'm young, I think, at 34 years old, but what I've kind of always known, as someone who's been quite intuitive, is I've kind of been able to see how things unfold, and kind of been able to see really the path that I should be taking, but always deviating off of that path for insecurities and for other reasons. So, so many of us want to depend on other people to fix us. And so many of us get into relationships, whether that relationship's with a person or that relationship's with a substance abuse or whatever it is, we look to others to fix us. And we are so afraid of self-journey and self-discovery and doing us, and really stopping with the excuses, letting go of the bullshit, letting go of all the things that kind of, are those deep down rooted problems that we don't want to face, because those things are scary, and those things are those are our fears, right? But fear is so paralyzing. And for me, I've always feel like, I've hid behind my weight, and, I've had my shtick with losing weight and gaining weight and juicing and this and that and back and forth. And for me, that's been my thing. And I've been able to kind of, start unpacking my layers and looking at the big picture and looking at where I want to be and what I want to be. And the truth is, I want to be healthy. And I had to make that mind switch in my head to say, stop thinking about it as being a weight thing, start thinking of it as being healthy. And when I did do that whole juicing thing where I juiced for a year and I was skinny and I was, mentally I still wasn't in a good place. And now where I am in my life and where I've built myself is I'm mentally strong in my head. I'm happy in my heart. I'm content with where I am, what I'm doing, what I'm building. And for me, that's really important. And then I said, okay, but Leslie, why are you self-destructing yourself with food? Why is that your shtick? Why is that your thing that is holding you back from, doing or going into these next chapters of your life where you want and the things that you want? If you want to have a family, if you want to get married, if you want to, do all these things, what do you have to do? And for me, it's letting go of all this stuff. And the truth is, for me, I have to do it by myself. I can't be in a relationship with somebody or be involved in anything right now but myself. And so many times I've come so close to reaching that space where I want to be, and then my fear comes back, it takes over, and it's patterns. We have patterns, we have comforts, and these things are what end up being debilitating and what essentially bring us down. So and often we'll always say, oh, I want to go back to the old me, and I want to go back to when I was this weight, or I want to go back to being able to fit into those jeans. And we have the women, I don't know about men, but that our skinny clothes closet, and we want to go back to our old selves. And if you maintain that mentality and you stick to that mentality of wanting to go back, you are depending on the results that once were, but forgetting about where we have to go. So for me, I had to let go of, okay, I got to go back to this. I want to go into my best version of myself. I want to go into being in a place that I'm happy 100% of the time, where I know that I've put in the work and I've done the work that I have to do, not to be my old self, but to be my new self, to be that potential that I am and that potential I know I can be. And you know what? I've done some energy work with some great healers over the last couple months who have, they do their thing and they're very good at what they do. And I've been able to do that work, and a week or 10 days later, I start to actually feel that, and I start to feel these releases, and emotions come up and things come up, and to really let go. So for me, I've been telling myself for a really long time, Leslie, you have to make that mental switch of it be healthy, okay? And healthy to me is more than just what the number is on the scale. I don't own a scale. I don't weigh myself. I don't want to know how much I weigh. I don't want to get into a pattern of expectation of a number or whatever it is. I want to get into a place where I feel good, where it's not even about confidence. I'm confident in where I am, but I want to be in a better place, in a place that I know will unleash and unravel things, unlock doors that need to get unlocked, and they have to go in the right order, and you have to go in this order, and you can't jump around, and you can't deviate to go through one door and not the other door. There's a specific pattern that has to be followed in order to maintain this. So I said to myself, okay, you know that you have to make this mental switch and this clarity to be healthy, not to be skinny, but to be healthy. And I actually have been working on some projects that have been extremely stressful for me, kind of out of my realm, kind of in a different scope of things from what I'm used to doing. And, I walked into a it's called Pharmaprix here, Shoppers, Drug Mart, your Walgreens, whatever. And they had those blood pressure machines that tell you, you stick your arm in and it squeezes you to death, and it tells you, your blood pressure is good or bad. And I have never had a blood pressure issue, never. I've always had very optimal blood pressure, optimal resting heartbeat. And this stress from what I've been doing was like, I stuck my hand in there and I'm like, holy fuck, my blood pressure is high. And my blood pressure has never been high. And right there for me, that was my switch. And I was like, I don't want high blood pressure. I don't want to walk into diabetes. I know and have all of these amazing tools that I share with you guys and push you guys to do it. And I know, and I don't want to be that person who, they say, those who can't teach. And fuck that. That's so not me. I'm so a person about preaching what I do, living my best self, doing what I know to do and how to do it. I have all of those tools. I have my kit right here. So open that shit up and do what you have to do. And I was like, that was enough to scare me. So what I said to myself, what does my long-term plan look like? My long-term plan starts with going back to the basics. And what are the basics for me? Clean eating. That means I don't want to be Uber Eats #1 customer. I want to be Leslie Eats #1 customer. I want to cook. I want all my produce to come in. I want to be able to have a stacked fridge. And I'm not going to go to that extreme level where I'm just going to jump into juicing. I'm not there. I'm not physically, I'm not mentally there to just juice. Yes, it's something that I want to do. Yes, it's something that's in my long-term plan. Yes, it's the most fantastic thing, but I want to get there in the right order, and I want to get there in the right time. So for me right now, it's going back to the basics. I've got gold hands in the kitchens. I've got a brain that when I want to eat, I can figure out the flavors. I can figure out what I want to do. And that is having my pantry stocked and my fridge stocked with my guidelines and my rules. And for me, that's simple. As someone who's plant-based, okay? And let's remember, guys, someone who's plant-based can still eat shit. You can still eat French fries. You can still have the pizza without the cheese. You can still have the pasta and the Chinese food and the Thai food. And you can go into all those evil foods and live and survive, but you're not going to be healthy. So for me, my guidelines simply came down to, okay, I want to go back to my fruits and vegetables. I want to go back to the nuts and the seeds. I want to go back to nothing processed. Everything is done at home, and that's where I had to go. I had to go back to the basics, drinking my water, getting back into my routine of my supplementation that works for me, and I've switched into herbs, which I'm loving. I'm feeling really good. I've seen my face open up and my color come back and just feel good. My sleep is better. I'm not exhausted in the middle of the day. I have my energy. I'm not craving shit. And what I am craving is I'm listening to myself eat very intuitively. I'm listening to myself say, there are no rules within my rules. And my rules, like I said, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, and some beans. And I'm okay with that. And that for me is what is going to work. And I've set myself up to do that for 30 days with no interruptions, no eating out, no ordering in, no deviation, no falling off that bandwagon, because it's that important to me. And it is that important for me to get these 30 days done, because after those 30 days, my next door will open. And those are the doors that I want to be able to walk through. And if I do it in front of you guys, and I have this audience that I love and I adore, and it's a community for me, and I can share that with you and it can inspire somebody, then fine. But I have that set in place with me, and I'm already, I kind of waited to kind of have this chat, because now I'm like, 2 weeks in as of tomorrow of the cleanness and the cleanliness, and everything changes. The mindset changes. Everything changes. You start to become more aware. You start to become more intuitive the cleaner you eat. And these 2 weeks haven't been difficult. I hate cleaning up. I hate cleaning up after I cook. For me, I hate that. For me, cleaning and washing the dishes, I rather leave it there and pray that it disappears. But fact of the matter is, I have to feed myself. Nobody's going to feed me. Nobody gives a shit, guys, about what you do. You have to give a shit. You have to take shit into your own hands. You guys have to be in control. If you have kids, if you have a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a dog, whatever, you can't be anything positive to them when you're unhappy. You can't contribute effectively to these people who are important people in your life when you can't even take care of yourself, and when you want to make all the excuses in the world that I'm going to start Monday. And hello, champion of setting wrong expectations right here, where I'm going to start this day and I'm going to start that day, and like you gorge yourself with food and you try and get in all the shit before because you're not going to eat it the next day. And for me, it didn't work. I had to get to a point where I was scared and nervous that my blood pressure went up, and which for me is like outrageous. Like that's never ever happened in my life ever, and it was enough to scare me. And I'm 34, and as you get older, I'm not saying I'm old, but as you get older and you transition into different stages in your life, being healthy in those stages is so important. So let me come back to what my plan kind of looks like. My plan kind of looks like the following, and it does include exercise, because you can't live healthy and not exercise. But I have been not exercising for so long, because what happened was I built that fear when I hurt myself in the gym when I was my fittest and my strongest. It's when I fell down the hardest, had hurt my back and had surgery, and then fell into this awful spiral that, took me into this really shitty place where, I had to flow through those steps and get back up and whatever. But for me, first 30 days looks like clean eating. Those basic steps, staying within those guidelines of just 3 meals a day, eating intuitively to what my body feels and tells me. If I want to eat fruit all day, I'll eat fruit all day. I'm not scared of fruit. I'm not scared of vegetables. And I can see as I started, the things that I was craving initially are slowly tapering down, and other things are coming up and taking place. So, it's summertime, it's hot, the fruit is great, the watermelons. My fruits are the watermelons, the cherries, those Concord grapes are in right now. And I'm not really into like the apples and the other melons and mangoes. It's very simple for me. Whatever nutrients are in those few selected fruits that I've chosen, and bananas have been huge for me. Those are the things I need. And some of those are just my basic electrolytes. Those are potassium, retinol, vitamin A, vitamin C, just things that need to get the engine warmed up and start working again, right? So those are the basic things when it comes to cooking and food. There's no sauce. I don't have sauces in my fridge. I'm craving a lot of pickles. I'm loving pickles right now. And I'm just incorporating the things that I like into my diet. I'm watching and seeing how I feel and react to different foods. And those are the foods that I've brought into my life. Chickpeas are the greatest thing that ever came to life right now. Generally, I'm not really a bean person. I actually stay away from beans. They're not making me gassy. I don't feel bloated. I'm soaking my beans. I have some canned organic beans, but I try and stay away from them. But in a pinch and in a hurry, I don't want to come off my path because my beans weren't soaked. Okay, so those are the things. If I want chocolate, I made it. It's sitting in my freezer, and usually when I gouge through them, they've sat there for 2 weeks, and I've been able to go into them in a way that isn't compulsive eating or emotional eating, because I'm coming to, level out and base out with everything right now. And then after those 30 days, okay, I'm going to start introducing juicing, not exclusively, but I'm going to make sure that I have, if it's a liter of juice a day and that satiates me, and that's great, that's where it's going to be. And it's every day, okay? And then there's literally, I can throw a ball to the gym that I'm a member of that I've never been to across the street from my house. It's not even 30 seconds, is to go there and just walk for 35 minutes. That's it. I'm not going from zero to hero, which are my old patterns and my own habits of going very extreme and going from zero to extreme, nothing in between, and then failing, because you can't do that. I can't do that. I can't go back to my yoga practice where I was like, really like in there standing at the mirror in a sports bra and little shorts, because that's not me right now. Okay. I have to go back to the basics. So that means getting to the gym 3 times a day just to walk for 35 minutes. Those are within my first 30-day guidelines. So I haven't started that yet. I'm getting the food under control. Then it's going to be to get into the gym and do that for three times a week for 35 minutes. That's nothing. Okay. Then I'm going to want to increase that. I'm going to go to four days a week, and I'm going to bump it up to 60 minutes a day and just walk. I'm not in a competition with anybody. I've let go of all of those ego and pride things that I have to hit this many kilometers and fuck it. I'm just going basic, guys. I'm going very, very basic, and wherever it takes me, it takes me. After that, with the 30 days of the food, like I said, I want to reintroduce the juicing back in slowly. And then I want to eventually get into, some the intermittent fasting I'm doing now. So that means I will have an 8-hour window and then a 16-hour fast. During that fast, I'm not doing a dry fast. I am doing water, which I need right now. So, this intermittent fasting is making me feel good. And every stage is going to go, and it's just going to be one day at a time, because I've decided to commit. And so many times I work with my clients, and for those of you who have worked with me one-on-one, I've always said to them, don't pay me money to listen to me talk to you and have zero commitment to really want to get better and to heal, because you're paying me for no reason, and I don't want to take your money to sit and just be friends on the phone. I want you to commit to it and be dedicated to it, and it's a very hard switch to make. But self-discovery, self-journey, if you can do that in life, you can have what you want in life. And I know that because I've come so close to it so many times, and then the fear takes over, I'm paralyzed, and I scale back and I fall backwards on my ass, and then it's like, it's easier to do the bad things than it is the good things, and it's easier to create bad habits than it is to create good habits. And 21 days to make or break a habit, it is very impactful. And I truly believe that those 21 days are where a lot of things start to leave and a lot of new things start to come in. So establishing that, those habits in a 21-day frame is very important, and it's very important for me. And I know that I've tried to go back to these extreme juicing and things that, yes, I really want to do that again, never for a full year. That's absolutely ludicrous, but I would love to do it for 90 days. And I haven't been able to get there yet. And I haven't been able to get there yet because I hadn't been able to make that switch in my mind, which I've now done, and I will do it very slowly because I have things that I want to do, and I have things in places I want to be, and those things include certain things that I have to do. So for me, that's why this is really important for me. So it's walking the path of health. It's letting go of the bullshit. It's facing and being honest with yourself. If you don't want to talk to anybody about it, talk to yourself. Excuse me. Talk to yourself about it and be honest with yourself, and let yourself be allowed to feel shitty, and allow yourself to restart and to regenerate. We have that capability as humans to take care of ourselves. We're meant to self-love and to, give to ourselves. And you know what? People laugh at affirmations, but first of all, they're very difficult to get up and stand in the mirror and tell yourself all these positive things about you, but our energy and our vibrations are real. So if you want to be negative, that energy and those vibrations will be negative. And it sounds crazy, and some people vibe with that and get that, and other people are like, what is she talking about? But it really makes sense. And like there's those studies where you like take plants and like you talk well to the plants and they flourish and they grow, and you talk negative to the plants and they whittle and they fade out and they die. That's energy, right? So that's a great way to see it. So, even being able to get up in the morning and just say, I fucking love myself. I'm beautiful. I got this. I can do that. Those are hard things to say. Those are hard things to admit to. Those are hard things that probably any of you here, if I said to you, hit your thumbs button or your like button, that if you do self-love, most of us don't, because we're conditioned. We've unconditioned ourselves to do those good things. So for me, my thing is just to really be me. And if that means, being a little less social and, not going out, I don't really care. I'm happy to be at home. I really don't give a shit who's getting wasted at, the bar down the street. To me, those things, they're not important. They never were. I was never into that. So for me to not isolate myself, I'm a social person. I like talking to people. I like interacting with people. I like being around people. I like having people in my company. But if it means for the first little bit that I kind of have to cocoon myself and be with myself, I'm okay with that, because the journey isn't forever. The journey is when you decide to take time to start and to accept, and then you start, moving through the motions and getting to the places that you want to do. And at this point in my life, I want that, and I want to watch myself transform, and I would like to share it with you guys. I'd like to be able to share that progression and just share that with you and let you guys see that, because I know I'm not alone. I know as a woman, and even for men as well, this is definitely not gender specific, but there's a lot of expectations. Fuck those expectations. They don't mean anything. They're things that got into our head, that somewhere someone said something to be something and to do something, and it really it doesn't mean anything. And healing is so much bigger than I have IBS or I'm constipated. I'm just using those as an example, is that the healing is much bigger than just physical health. It's emotional health. It's emotional stability. It's so much more. And truthfully, it's about trusting yourself. And it's about really allowing yourself to just say, I'm ready and I want this because I want to be happy. And you can't be happy if you're holding on to all of those things. And listen, we all came into this life, not by choice, but by procreation. And we landed and we were dealt the cards that we've been dealt, and some of us have been dealt a great deck, and some of us have been dealt a shitty deck, and some of us have an okay deck, right? But you have the ability to be and become and do what you want. So if you set your limitations, then that's kind of where you're going to sit and stay. If you have big goals and big dreams, then achieve them, and don't be afraid to go after them. And these are things that are coming up for myself right now. I've always envisioned myself as a successful person. I've always envisioned these big goals that I have and these things that I want to do, not just for myself, but be able to give to a community and to be able to give back and share and whatever it is. What, if one of them is to have a wellness center one day where people can come and heal. That's something I've always wanted to do and always wanted to have. But in order to get there, these are the steps that I have to take. I have to be that picturesque person that is the epitome of wellness, and I want to be that person, so I will become that person. I have the knowledge, and like I said, I have those tools in my kit, and I want to stand on stages around the world and speak to people and help people get over their shit and move forward and be that type of person. And those are things I want to accomplish. So now's the time for me to start paving the way to that, and I'm ready for that. And I know this time it's really different because I'm not depending on going back to who I was. I'm going forward into the person I'm meant to be. So that for me is really important. And I know so many of us deal with so much stuff, and we have pain, and we have sorrow, and we have hurt, and we have expectations of ourself in life that we're not achieving. But start peeling back those layers and see what happens. And if you want to succeed, then you succeed. And it doesn't matter who's currently in your space right now. Getting rid of negativity and the people and the naysayers who, people are generally happy when people fail. They like to see, someone who's lost a lot of weight and, oh, she gained her weight. Or, people thrive on other people's unhappiness because they're unhappy. They're fucking sitting in their own BS and they can't get out of it. And that it's so sad. Like, celebrate people's success. Be happy for people. When I see people who achieve things, they've worked hard to get there, and it's admirable. There's nothing to be jealous about. There's nothing to hone on. Let them shine in their glory. Who cares how they got there? They got there, and I want to get there, and I want to be open about it and share it with people, because people think that Leslie's this is this perfection of health, and she doesn't stray. Well, I'm human, and I ate French fries too, and I ate shit too, going through all of these things, and I really self-destruct with food. That is my weapon. That is my cocaine. That is my drug. Is food. And so many of us are emotional eaters. So many of us deal with food as a way to make ourselves feel better, but not really feel better, right? So it's about just moving forward in this journey and kind of going into this space where I really, 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 really want to be. And people are like, oh, Les, write your cookbook. Like, guys, I tried really hard to write this cookbook, and I really want to deliver it to you, but when I cook and I go in the fridge and I throw it here, and I'm trying to, because I want to be able to share those things with you, because I know that I have that gift to create in the kitchen, and I want to share those with you, and maybe I'll hire someone to follow me around and write shit down, because I can't. I'm not good at that aspect of it. So as much as I really want to deliver this cookbook, it's been a bit of a struggle, because I don't measure anything, I don't do anything, and I'm trying to share the things that I eat. And the other thing about that is, guys, I do not spend a lot of time in my kitchen at all. I am busy during the day, but it's important to me. So preparing and doing a few extra steps when I receive my groceries, like washing stuff and cutting things up, is the effort that I've committed to for myself. And this isn't something I want to fail with. I really, truly want to succeed here, because, again, it is really, really, really that important to me. So that's kind of what it is. And my goal is to really try and document it in the best way that I can. Not because I'm an attention seeker, because I'm really not, but just to be able to share that little bit of light and that little bit of motivation with other people who maybe watching from backstage, or, might be really involved. And just by sharing, and for me, by sharing, it's my way of saying, here it is, and this is my accountability. It's not for, how many likes I can get, or that's just not me. And that's another thing. Social media is the biggest mind fuck out there, guys. They put their lives on Facebook, and I try and use Facebook as a business tool and as a community more than posting about my love life, or whatever. I post pictures of my dog, but that facade of what people post pictures of or tag people in, or what they want you to see and believe that they're happy, those are the most unhappy people. Those are people, they're not happy. They're desperate and crying for attention. They're desperate for other people's approval. And that's what social media has created. It's created a sense of people wanting this desperate approval of, like, how many likes can you get on a thing, or how many comments can you get, and this drives people, and people hide behind this phoniness and this desperation of really wanting to be something and wanting to be happy. Not to say that there aren't people do share genuine aspects of their life, and they are happy. I'm not saying this world is one big misery, but misery loves company, and most people, when I look around, aren't happy. And I look at relationships as someone who's 34 and single. I feel zero pressure to be married. I feel zero pressure to have kids. Yes, I want those things, but right now is just, that's not where I'm at in my life. Right now I'm at a point in my life where I can be independent and I can take care of myself, and I'm not dependent on somebody to pay my bills or do what I have to do. I've taken control of that for myself because it's important to me and I want to be that person. But going back to that, I look at all these relationships and they're just so broken, and people are so unhappy in relationships they've chosen to be in, and in relationships are so broken, and they feel like they have no way out, because again, it's these expectations of what other people are going to say, what they're going to talk about, and how they're going to react. People are so immersed in what other people think and what other people care. Who cares? Like, who cares? That's their bullshit. I don't care. I don't care what, how people are in their relationships. I personally don't care. There are other people who care. And all these people who ended up in these relationships because of pressure, because of expectations, because they were supposed to get married, or they were supposed to have kids at a certain time in their mind clock, or the pressure from family or friends. A lot of those people are so unhappy, and a lot of those people have sacrificed their own self respect and their own self ability to journey and succeed and become the best version of themselves. And that's why there's not so many people who are really happy in life who have everything they have, because they didn't strive for it, and they didn't go after those dreams, and they just stopped because they were hoping somebody else would fix them, or their insecurities would be masked by being in this relationship. Whatever the dynamic of the relationship is irrelevant, but that's what I see every day. I see people, couples out for dinner, and they're like on their phones, and they're like so not involved with the other person. They're totally out into a world that is so fake and so not a reality. And it's something that I'm very busy on my phone. I'm often on my phone, but the point is that we need to step away from these things, and we need to be real and check in with our own emotions and our own feelings, and really have the desire to be and to go after things that we want. And it doesn't matter what age you are. If you have something you want to accomplish, then decide that you want to accomplish and figure out a way that you can get there, because that's what it's about. It's about the journey, and it's about digging deep and being able to achieve what you want to achieve. Our lives are so short, and to be stuck or to be immersed in something that's not who we are, then we need to get out. Whether it's an addiction, whether it's whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We have to choose to overcome these things, and we have to choose to take, there's a fork in the road, and you got to choose what path, and allowing fear to paralyze us is the worst thing, and we're all guilty of it at some point, whether it's now, whether, maybe you've lost someone in your life and that's paralyzed you and it's not allowing you to, move forward because that's where you're stuck. But take the time to be honest with yourself and dig deep and go into yourself and be who you know that you are. Be the person you want to become, because when you get there, everything happens. And I know because I've had a small little superficial taste of it a couple years ago, where I thought I was good, but I was really a disaster. And I kind of had like a small snippet of it. And I want to be able to really have that in my life. So that's kind of this journey that I'm kind of going through and letting go of, and just one day at a time, every hour, every minute, having the determination and having the willpower. So for me, that's kind of where I want to go and who I want to be. So I'm going to get there because that's the goals that I've set, and I'm really committed to it right now. And I'm committed to not proving to anybody else, again, not seeking that approval, but being able to share it so that other people can just see it, because other people want that help. And if it helps someone to see me post my mock tuna or my egg salad, then I'm going to post that for people. And I want to be able to check in with you guys, and I want people who are watching this or watch this later, you're more than welcome to send me a message and just be like, hey Les, like, how's things going? I'd really like to do this. But talk to people, talk it out, and talk to not to yourself. You don't have to be a crazy person sitting in a room, like talking to yourself, but you're subconsciously always thinking. So being in that and being able to do those things are important. So that's kind of the message that I wanted to share tonight with you guys, and hope that it resonates with people, and that we kind of let go of fear and we allow fear to not paralyze us anymore. Because if you also think of it this way, some people go through life and then some traumatic event happens, and it takes something like that for them to want to achieve and succeed and do things differently. And I don't think we have to go through something so traumatic or terrible for us to be able to become successful or achieve what we want to achieve. But it's just about digging deep and going within and really just being, trying to be your best self, whatever that looks like for you, and to just say, I'm worth this, and I deserve to be happy, and I deserve to achieve what I want to achieve. And for me, that's to be healthy and to be the healthiest that I can be, so that when I do get to the chapter in my life where I can have kids, I want to be in a really good place to raise them on a foundation of being healthy, because it all starts there. Health is happiness, purpose and passion go hand in hand, and all of those things are really, really within reach for me, and just wanting them bad enough and being at a point in my life where it's like I'm done with all the bullshit, and I'm done with feeling a failure to myself in certain aspects in my life. So one day at a time, and that's the path I'm going to march, and I'm going to share it with you guys the best that I can. And it's about, literally stripping down naked and being vulnerable in order to be able to take the first step in that journey. So I really do encourage it. I really do encourage you to no matter how bad your pain is, no matter how bad your situation is, we are all different in that aspect, but pain is pain, hurt is hurt, and I believe that we choose to suffer, or we choose to heal, or we choose to stay stagnant, or we choose to move on. And as you get older, the time goes really fast. Like, it's a year ago that I went to Israel and ended up staying there for 3 months. That's a year. That's 365 days that I didn't achieve a lot of the things that I really wanted to achieve, and I don't want that to be this year for me. And it's really funny, because for me, I'm Jewish. I'm proud to be Jewish, and the Jewish New Year is coming, and it kind of always happens to me around this time that I feel ready to embark and journey and start over as a new year comes in, wherever the new year is, whether it's December 31st or this year starting September 9th. So that's kind of my message for you guys. I will go back and read through all of these things, and I hope this message clicks for somebody. I hope it inspires somebody to just make a small change. If that means eating an apple or drinking a glass of water because you don't drink water, then so be it. Okay, so that's kind of my message that I wanted to share, and just talk about this new path that I'm kind of journeying down and walking down, because I think it's important to share. And I have other goals for the group. I was very active on teaching you guys and bringing topics to the forefront. So I will be more active on the lives. I know I've said that before. Life's just really busy, and it's not an excuse. And I will be more present and more active with you guys. And again, if anybody needs somebody to talk to, or you want to just reach out, please do. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I'm happy to help you set goals and help you do what I can to help you. But first I have to do me, and I have to stick to what I've set out to do. So I will leave it at that, guys. I will go through comments, because I did see a lot of people post comments while I was live. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and let's get together soon. And maybe in the next couple of days I will do another live where we just do kind of a Q&A powwow, and I can answer some of your questions. So thank you so much, guys, for coming. It feels really good to be back in front of the camera and with you guys. So thank you for that opportunity, and I hope everyone has a really great night. And make changes, do for yourself, and be within yourself to become that best you. So I'll leave it at that. I think you're all great. Thanks for spending a couple minutes with me tonight and listening to me, and be wherever you are on your journey. Just keep stepping, keep going up, keep doing, and keep achieving, and keep working on yourself, because it is the most important thing. Self-discovery, self-journey, the hardest thing to do, the most rewarding thing to do, and at the end, the ultimate goal is that overall happiness. So thank you, guys, and I hope to see you guys soon, and I love all of you, and have an amazing night. Good night, guys.